Good morning, everyone. I'm super excited to be here with you today, and I have a special friend that is going to be doing a presentation with me today on resiliency. And I realize that many of you are busy. You didn't even get a chance to notice we were doing this today. So maybe you didn't register on the Zoom link. And in the middle of your busy morning, you're able to pop on with us Facebook Live. So I'm jumping over to Facebook Live now. And then what we'll do is we're going to start out. We're going to do this in two parts today. So on Facebook, those of you who are in the middle of your day, please, if you're driving, don't be too distracted. This will record. It will record both on Zoom and it will record on Facebook. If you're somebody that really thinks like, wow, this would be a conversation piece for people that I know, love, and would like to support, then by all means, you can click the share arrow from my page or Kelly Bubolz page, Bubolz, either page, and you can share that over to your page. So my name is Chele Boe, and in a little bit, when it's my turn to share and talk a little bit about my story and what I do to support people in the topic of resiliency, Kelly will introduce me at that time. But I wanted to start out just by introducing her. So we had a great conversation a while back. And, in that conversation, we realized we are so much alike and we look at the world in a very similar fashion. And what we do is very different, but we're both coming from an angle that I think is very necessary. So I want to ask you a question. Have you ever wondered, why you live life in sort of like zombie mode? You feel that fogginess, like fog on a windshield, and you wonder, when are the windshield wipers going to turn on and just wipe it all away? I've been there too, many, many times, and I do believe the ebb and flow of life brings us there. What if we could wipe that all away and return you back to your normal, good, happy, healthy energy? What if you realize that you truly do have control over this? Learning from a working mom today, a mom of 3 little children, having a background as an HR professional, excelling in her field, people looking at her from the outside might have been impressed and amazed at what she was able to handle on a day-to-day basis. What people didn't see that from the inside, she was absolutely screaming with burnout. And that's what we're here to talk about today. She experienced severe burnout to the point that it affected her digestive system and right down to her liver. She experienced this journey for a reason. What oftentimes is meant for bad, God has created to be good. And this is one woman that has found a way to take what she learned from her experience of being completely burnt out and being chronically ill to recovering from that, and now shares it with other people. Today, she's going to share with us her resilience armor, how she can teach you to have resiliency armor as well. Please help me welcome Kelly Bubolz.
Thanks, Chele. Good morning, everyone. I hope you have your coffee. We're going to address some screens here. All right. So like Chele said, I'm Kelly Bubolz. I'm owner, trainer, and burnout prevention mentor at Commute Training Solutions. And the first question I always get is, what is a burnout prevention mentor? And really, it's just my own journey. And I've been to trainings, I've been to clinics, I've been to workshops. I was an HR leader, so I love those things. And no one ever teaches you balance. No one teaches you how to do it all. So I kept moving up the ladder. I kept having children, and I changed nothing. I changed no habits. And on the outside, I was performing. But on the inside, my resiliency armor was slowly bending, creaking, cracking and opening wide for stressors to just start punching me in the face. So eventually, over these 6 years, I started having symptoms, I started having signs, and I ignored them, right? You have kids, things start falling apart. You get mommy brain. And doctors literally told me that, mommy brain. And what I didn't realize is these were all signs that my body was saying, stop, I need help, I need balance. I ignored it. High pace society, right? Well, the pandemic hit. And an HR man, did we take a hit? If you know an HR person, please reach out to them. They are not okay. And I hit rock bottom. In March of 2021, I was down 40 pounds, no longer could digest food. I had rashes all over my body from my liver shutting down. I couldn't release toxins anymore. In the afternoons, I would have flu-like symptoms, fevers, fatigue, because my adrenal gland basically shut off. I could not think, I could not remember things. Someone would say something in a meeting, I would walk out of the meeting, not even know who was in the meeting. Complete cognitive failure. My body shut down. By the time I got hooked up with the right doctors and holistic health, I basically was on a 2-month road to complete body failure. He was surprised my heart didn't fail by then, because all the rest of the support organs to my heart were failing. So how did I get here? I was a leader in my organization. I was a leader in HR. I was the person people wanted to be. You know, I got the country home, the homestead, the beautiful children. How did I get here? I have thick skin. I did all the trainings. I did all the things. How did I get here? And you can build armor. You're not born with it, right? So you can build it. But if you get those sucker punches over and over again, how are you rebuilding it? What are you doing daily to make sure that armor is strong? So what I found out is, with all these changes, I wasn't rebuilding my armor. I wasn't doing new coating. When it would get bent in, I wouldn't fix it. So I'm going to go through just a little snapshot of what I do now in my days to rebuild my armor every day. And these small actions and habits are going to change how the day goes on the next 24 hours. These small action and habits aren't like big, complete diet changes. They just set up your day. And then you feel like you can take on whatever comes, because guess what? After the pandemic, there's going to be a new stressor, just like there were stressors before the pandemic. And guess what? My children will go older and new stressors are going to come in. So we need to constantly build up this armor to be prepared for it. So I have 8 tips. It was really hard to only get 8 tips down. Like, I have hundreds and hundreds of things to tell you, but let's go with 8 tips to set up your day. So in the first 24 hours, here's what I want you to do. And most of these things you can change literally tomorrow. So the first one is, don't hit the snooze. All right, that's your first excuse of the day. And I know you've probably heard that before, but literally you can reach your subconscious mind in the first 15 minutes of waking up. Your subconscious runs 95% of your actions. So if you hit that snooze, guess what? Later in the day, when you pack that beautiful lunch for your healthy behavior, I don't feel like eating that lunch today. Ooh, I don't feel like going to the gym today. Oh, I don't feel like talking to that difficult person. You make excuses the rest of the day. You set yourself up for excuses the rest of the day. So when that alarm goes off, boom, you are on a bed. Do not start your first excuse of the day. Number 2, no phone. I am the hugest offender of that. There are 2 things you're going to do when you pick up your phone. You're going to check emails, or you're going to go on social media or news. You are automatically now in response mode the rest of the day. You just got your kick of dopamine, which is the pleasure hormone, from email response or community, whatever's going on in the community, whatever the news wants to feed you, response. So guess what the body wants the rest of the day? Social media, news, and response emails. You have no control of your day. I dislike when people say, we don't have any control right now. We don't have any control. We have so much in our control. Is there factors, big factors that are affecting us right now that we don't? Absolutely. But guess what? All of these little actions and habits are in your control, and you're choosing to throw them away. So no phone in the morning. I know this tip, and I still fall back in that vicious cycle. That is the biggest stress addiction that I can say that any generation struggles with. So make it disappear. Get an old-fashioned alarm clock if you have to. Just make it disappear. Don't go in response mode. Number 3, water. There's many reasons for this, and Shelley's going to get into the body mechanics a little bit more. I am not a health professional, but when I switch to a cup of water in the morning before I have coffee or anything, a lot of things change digestively, like that. All that settlement from the night, you got flushed out. I got hydrated for my first thing in the morning. I got that sense of progress that I did something healthy for myself today. And guess what? Later on in the day, I followed suit with more water or more healthy habits. So in the spectrum of burnout and energy, the only way back to energy is progress in something. It doesn't have to be big, giant, diplomas and stuff. It just has to be progress in something. So that's my progress item is I drink water in the morning before coffee. It also gives you the liquid that your body's craving, and suddenly you want to drink less caffeine, which is also good for the body. So water before caffeine. Number 4, movement. Oh, I am not a morning person. I do not want to move in the morning. Do not tell me to exercise. Those people that exercise in the morning, I was like, how, are you from another planet? How did you come to be? Why are you so happy? I literally have 3 beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed children that come and give me love right away in the morning. And I'm like, don't touch me. Don't talk to me. I just don't want to be touched in the morning, right? Well, what I learned in my burnout recovery is in the morning, you can set up the next 24 hours of your hormone rhythm, of your digestive system, of the circulation to your body. And as someone whose body completely shut down, I was like, I need to do something. I need to take it to the next level. And all the doctors, all my holistic doctors said, you need to start doing something in the morning, stretching, yoga. If you want to work out, weightlifting or cardio, something just getting circulation in the body. I was like, I'm not a morning person. Well, around the holidays, when all those new stressors came in, I started seeing myself slip back to burnout, symptoms, everything else. It's like, I need to do something. So I was like, the only thing that is a real big game changer that I haven't done is movement in the morning. So I tried stretching and I wanted to go back to bed. It wasn't active enough. I tried working out from home and I would end up doing house chores or getting my kids ready for school, which they already had my spouse taking care of them. So I had to remove myself from the house. So guess what? I got a gym membership close by and I would go to the gym and I literally would hate myself as I sat in my car outside that gym and being like, it's so cold in Wisconsin right now. It's like single digits and I don't want to be here. But the moment I would walk in that gym, I was like, dang girl, you are doing more than most people right now. Dang girl, you are taking care of yourself. Dang girl, you are getting rid of all the stress from the last 24 hours. You are supporting yourself so you do not go back into the darkness of burnout, which is a dark place to be. You do not want to be there. And man, I will tell you, within 2 weeks, I was there for like half hour to 45 minutes weightlifting. Within 2 weeks, I craved going to the gym in the morning. My mindset changed. I felt like all that mommy brain and cloudness and fog and zombie mode was out of my brain, like clear and crisp and productive days. I felt digestively ready for the day. I felt like I actually wanted to eat healthy instead of forcing it. Just so many things changed. And then I realized I'm not a morning person because I told myself for years and years and years that I'm not a morning person. I don't know if that came from my family. I don't know if that came from my friends. I don't know if that came from social norms that like, you don't want to be that person that works out in the morning. I don't know where that came from. But once I said, man, I feel good after I work out in the morning. The rest of the day goes so smoothly. And in the afternoon, I don't need caffeine. I wanted more. I wanted more. So that's what I started telling myself is, Kelly, if you go work out in the morning when it's really cold and you don't want to go out of bed, this is everything that happens to you the next 24 hours. So that's what I started focusing on. So be aware of the power of the mindset. It can be your amigo and your enemy. So movement in any shape or form. 5, journal. This was hard for me. So I started with a productivity journal off of like Amazon, ask some mindset questions, but basically you want to take whatever's in your brain and start dumping it in words. When you have to do that, you see some icky stuff and you see some really good stuff and you could start seeing progress. I started to see myself go up in weights at the gym. I started to see myself, wow, I'm eating a lot healthier than I thought I was. Progress. You're proving your brain progress. Again, we want to move back to energy. You can also do gratitude. You can do mindset work. You basically just want to reflect on what's going on instead of just leaving all that muck in your brain. The coolest thing I've tried is mirror image questions. You can also do that if you don't want to write in a notebook. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself some questions. It's going to be ugly at first. I even ask myself when I fall back into some old habits, like, what are you doing? I yell at myself in the mirror, like, what are you doing, Kelly? You're going right back. You literally have a business around this now, and you are doing unhealthy habits. What are you doing? And just those like comments to yourself, to your soul, can change it. Also, you could do encouraging comments. So if you're wondering what are mirror image questions, Google it. Say mirror image questions for working moms, mirror image questions for overwhelmed leaders. Hundreds and hundreds of beautiful questions that you ask yourself in the mirror. And the cool thing is the brain is programmed to respond to that mirror image question because we're mirror image creatures. When someone yawns, we yawn. When someone smiles, we want to smile. So believe in the power of the mirror. All right, number 6, grounded action. This came from my leadership coaching. If I would ask leaders, if I would take away all your roles and responsibilities, what would you be doing? They don't know. If I would take away all your roles and responsibilities of a parent, what would you be doing for a couple minutes in the morning? What is your grounded action to just like be in silence, be away from screens, just be with yourself? And like I said, in the beginning, that can be a little ugly when you have to sit with yourself in silence, especially if you haven't done it, work in a long time. It was for me at least. But now for a couple minutes in the morning with our crazy household and 3 kids trying to get off to school and daycare, I will take a cup of coffee and just sit by the table that looks at a bird feeder. And in spring, when the flowers are blooming, it's just the couple minutes to just stay grounded and just know that I'm safe, that I'm okay, that no matter who's screaming in the background and crawling on me, that I have this moment to myself. And that's what you want to do for self-care. You don't want to wait 6 months for when you go on a vacation to Mexico. You want to do daily resiliency habits to be building up this armor. Doesn't have to be 15 minutes, doesn't have to be a giant bath, just look outside. And when it's nice out, 100% get outside. I will sit on my deck, listen to the birds chirping, waking up. And it is like Mother Nature is exchanging energy with me. Okay, so what is your grounded action? Number 7, what is your commute mindset? If you work from home, I want you to go out to my website after this, and there's a podcast episode on how you transition to, working from home mode back to home mode. But your commute mindset, what are you doing on your way to work? Are you just stirring in all the stressors that already happened this morning, the 15 minutes it took your kids to get the shoes on? No. Line up some great inspiring podcasts, line up some inspiring jacked up music, like 90s dance party, and you will see your whole mentality change when you get to work. But if you're going to listen to like sad, soppy music, it's going to feed into your thoughts. If you're going to listen to angry, like, no wonder we're all in burnout because of all our employers don't care about us, guess what? That's what you're going to think about the rest of the day. So line up your commute playlists ahead of time so that you're set up for the day. And then the 8th and the final one is we're going to work the mindset when we walk through the door. That door frame is going to be your affirmation. Do you walk through the door and you say, here we go again? Do you walk through that door and you say, oh, I wonder what's going to happen today? Here's another day. Walk through that door and say, how am I going to make an impact today? Walk through that door and say, who am I excited to see today? Walk through that door and say, man, I am jacked up for that meeting because we're going to make some changes around here. Or, hey, I had an awesome morning. I'm going to have an awesome day. What are you going to do when you walk through that steel or that door frame? Because your brain's going to look for proof. And if you don't believe me, I want you to try a green light, red light challenge when you go to work. I want you to count how many green lights you hit on the way to work. When you get to work in that parking lot, just say, how many green lights did I hit? Don't go through your whole route, just spew it out. Okay, now I want you to ask, how many red lights did I hit? Your brain will have a hard time remembering the red lights that you hit because your brain is always looking for proof of your thoughts. So if you don't believe that, have you ever looked for a new car and model and suddenly saw it all around the roads? And you're like, where did all these cars come from? Your brain is looking for proof of your thoughts. So use that as momentum to start moving yourself into a positive mindset. So those 8, it was really hard to narrow those down, but don't hit the snooze. No phone in the morning. Drink a cup of water. Do some movement, even as little as stretching. Journal. Grounded action. Figure out your ground. What is your base? And that might be some identity searching, right? What is going to be your commute routine to get in the mindset? And then what door trigger questions are you going to ask yourself to set your day? These are the little things that are going to repair your armor, close up the gaps, get rid of the Achilles heels. And they're so small and they cost nothing, right? So if you're interested in other services that I do a lot of burnout prevention, building resiliency courses right now for obvious reasons. I do team building inside workforces and communication. And then I also do leadership coaching. So if you're interested, there's a lot of freebies on my website. But before we do, and the reason why me and Chele got connected is you have no idea the power of the body. You have no idea how much is in our control. So next, I want to introduce you to a woman that has impacted thousands of lives across the nation. She is entering her 25th year of working in holistic health. 25 years. I'm like 1 year in, guys. So wait till you hear this. She's known for her story. She's known for her strength and her passion and ability to support people and transforming. This is important. So much transformation that can happen with the right support. Transforming their body and their mind. So please help me welcome my friend, Chele Boe.
Wow, Ellie's so good. She's so good, guys. So I'm sitting back there, her greatest fan right now. I hope everybody is able to share this out because, man, this is fun. And Kelly, we could go on the road together because I swear to God, we think so much alike. We're both in very different chapters, very different seasons of our life, but that's the exciting piece here, is that we think so much alike, and I'm on every word she's saying. So I hope this is resonating with you guys. You know, I have a background in organizational communications, public relations, and psychology. And where I've spent most of my last 24 years is working toward bringing together mind, body, spirit, teaching people how the mind and the body have become one. I am a certified weight management coach. I'm certified as a nutraceutical consultant, meaning that I have the ability to support health professionals in implementing their wellness solutions in their practices. And I'm also a certified product specialist, meaning that I'm highly trained in looking at the ingredients, the science, and the clinical evidence behind supplementation. So starting out today, you know, we talk about this word resilience, and for everybody, it means something a little bit different. At a basic foundation, it is a noun that means to withstand hardship, to withstand hardship. I really err on the side of looking at the psychological and emotional side of resilience. And I'm getting the same sort of feeling from Kelly, that we really look at psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, what is resilience? Resilience, when you look at facing crises or challenges or, you know, adversity, really looks at how well can we bounce back from that. It's not about going through things. It's about building muscle as we go through those, so that we can bounce back to what we would consider a normal state for us. So resilience exists when the person uses their mental processes and their behaviors in promoting their personal assets and protecting. Remember that word, because we do things for three reasons. We either need to feel prioritized, we need to punish ourselves because we don't believe we're worthy of any better, or we need to protect ourselves. And unfortunately, a lot of us go into protection mode when it comes to the effects of the negative stressors that are out there. Looking at this, like Kelly said, holistically, a well-rounded approach to becoming well enough to be resilient in the face of adversity. It requires body, heart, mind, and spirit. When we look at the heart, are you present? Are you mindful? What are your values? Are you living a life that aligns with those values? What is your response or your reaction to things? It isn't about the conditions you face, it's about the decisions that you make and how you will respond to those things. When it comes to spiritual, do you have a level of intuition, a level of discernment? Do you know what your purpose is, what your passion is, what your potential is? Do you believe in that? Have you gotten in touch with that? And I think the skills that Kelly shared with you today is enough to get you to that point where you're writing things out, your identity. When Kelly said, I really changed my thought process, she changed her identity. Look at her. It's bright and early in the morning. Look at her energy this morning. That's a person that said she wasn't a morning person. I was laughing in the background because I am a morning person. I'm a Wisconsin farm girl. I think most of my strength and resilience came from growing up on a very, very large dairy farm, getting up at 4:30 every morning, going back to the barn at 4:30 every day. Didn't matter if you were sick, didn't matter if it was cold, didn't matter. Nothing mattered other than this is what has to be done. So suck it up, buttercup, let's do it. You build resiliency armor when you go through a life like that. Looking at the mind, knowing that it is so important to have downtime, where you just take time away and don't think it has to be 30 minutes or an hour. My gosh, you guys, sometimes for me, it's 5 minutes of absolute shutting the world out, putting in my earbuds, and just guided meditation, absolute prayer. Remembering the beautiful stories that you've walked through before. Sometimes we're faced with things and we think, oh my gosh, it's going to be so difficult. How am I going to do this? And then you think, I've been through a lot worse than this before, and I walked right through it, and I'm better for it. Remember those things. Planning ahead, being prepared. Look at the world around you. How organized is the world around you? And then looking at the overall body with the fitness and the wellness and the nutrition and the supplementation, and looking at healthy recovery from situations, healthy morning, healthy meditation, and then training the body to be exactly the standard that you have said you are, training the body to believe in the identity that you've dictated. So I thought it was interesting. This last week, I threw out on Facebook, I said, tell me what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word resiliency. And I wanted to see what you guys thought. So this is straight from you guys. Number one, bounce back. That was several people. overcome cookie dough. There's one in every crowd, right? Kelly, I was like, seriously? That was my husband's goofy friend, Don, cookie dough. I'm like, yeah, Don's always got a remark for something. Courage, unstoppable. You should hear the songs. You know, I really believe in the association of music, and I will play music in my earbuds that strengthens me. You know, I'm a Champion by Carrie Underwood, Unstoppable by Sia, you know, certain Broken and Beautiful by Kelly Clarkson. These are songs that when I just blast those, I remember my stamina. I am unstoppable. I'm unbreakable. I'm invincible, right? Those are the ways that I feed my mind to remind myself, Chele Boe, you know who you are. Like Kelly said, you look in the mirror and it's like, I know who I am. I know my identity, and this is who I am, and this is what I do. You guys said things like, I can do it, having strength, keep on keeping on, never give up. Again, these are all comments that you made. My friend. So some of you see your friend as somebody who has great resiliency. Somebody said me. Several people said me, like they see themselves. Awesome, fantastic. You know you're resilient. Some said, don't stop, don't ever stop. Some said endurance. One person said, pushing myself beyond boundaries I did not ask for and breathe freedom into the dawn of each new day. And I thought, oh, that is so refreshing. And then, of course, my good friend, Ken Copps. And I won't back down. I'll stand my ground. You can take my body to the gates of hell, but I won't back down. Johnny Cash, right? And, you know, I get the biggest kick out of it, but it's fun to hear what others see as resilient. You know, I have a strong belief in the psychology of the human and how that affects the physiological body and the physical symptoms and the disease states that we see within our body. And I also believe that it comes from two things. It is the words we say to ourselves and out loud and to others, and the pictures in our mind. So what are you picturing when you look in the mirror? What do you see? What words are you saying to yourself from the time your feet hit the floor in the morning? You know, I wake up, my feet hit the floor, and I thank God for this day. And I thank him for all the abundance and the gifts and the blessings in my life. And I ask him to bless this day, that I would be a loving light to those around me each day. And that's the way I start my day. And I see the light, and I see him just working through me. And I see myself shining out as a result, because that's who I am. I think the real issue lies in the limiting beliefs that we have, the lies that lie beneath, those things that have become your absolute patterns, your programs, and your belief systems. And you say to me, well, Chele, I'm not one of those people that I can just cancel that out and restate it in a positive way. That seems like I'm lying to myself. Listen, you've been lying to yourself your whole life. How about we take a look at saying the right things to ourselves? Wouldn't you like to feed this vessel the right things for a change, so that your body starts to respond in the right way? And this is what's going to support you and prevent you from going down that road of developing chronic disease, like Kelly shared that she ended up with. And she's not alone in this. I have met a lot of, especially women, because we're managing 50 things at every given moment, right? And we're nurturers, we're servers by nature, and we want to say yes to everybody. You know, most people say, oh yeah, Chele, you know, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it, whether it be success or weight loss or healthy lifestyle or building a business of your own. And I say, you'll see it when you believe it. You must believe it first. I write my goal statements every 6 months as though it already happened. So my brain believes I already did it. And when my brain believes it's already done, my brain makes sure that that's exactly what happens. That may sound crazy to some of you, but remember, today is not about us giving you every tip, trick, and secret that we have. Today is about showing you that we have something to offer to you. Your job is to decide, am I worth reaching out to these ladies and asking for some support here and having a conversation with us? You see, your mind doesn't care what you tell it. Good, bad, health, unhealth, right, wrong. It accepts anything you tell it. It accepts what you tell it to be the truth. And these truths become the lies that you live your life on, what we call limiting beliefs. You know, people always say, you know, children are so resilient, they'll bounce back. Why do we say this? Because it's true. Because it's true. But did you ever ask, why is it true? Why are children so extremely resilient? Let's talk about that. I believe it comes down to two things: what is familiar and what is unfamiliar. So what's familiar for children? Fun, frolicking, play. Think about the day. What game can I play? What thing can I play with? What, right? Kids have not been destroyed by society. Kids have not been destroyed by the things that have happened around them. So what's familiar to them is fun. So they go back to fun in spite of. You go to a funeral, all the, the adults are there and they're mourning and they're stressed and it hurts. And you see kids running around and playing and you're thinking, wow, like they're doing well. Yes, it's because of their mindset. You see, they're already on to the next fun thing. They're resilient. What's unfamiliar to children is trauma and tragedy and PTSD and brokenness in many situations. However, you take a child that's been through trauma and tragedy and brokenness and discord, and what's becoming familiar to them is what's familiar to many of us now as adults, isn't it? It has become who we are. And that is why we struggle in the face of challenge and adversity and difficulty. So what's familiar to us oftentimes is fear and failure and frustration. We give up easily. We say, oh, I can't take anymore. Like Kelly said, oh, it's just another day, another one of those days, ain't my day. Everybody's sick. I'm probably going to get sick. There's people like this around, and I say they have a very low frequency, and the energy that they give off is a very low frequency energy. What happens is we learn to not cope in healthy ways. We learn to cope by escaping into drugs and alcohol and sex and profanity and videos and Netflix and anything else like food that can stuff it down, and we can act like things are okay, even though, like Kelly said right away, her body was screaming from the inside, but she looked so fantastic from the outside, right? What we want to become familiar with is conflict resolution, speaking when we need to, let it out, communication skills, perseverance, consistency, authenticity, asking for support, bringing our body into balance by starting where we can start. Maybe it's starting with drinking enough water. Maybe it's starting with 5 minutes of meditation a day. Start somewhere so you can bounce back better and be more resilient. I want to show you the power of your mind, because so many of you think, oh, you guys, this is what you do. This is, you practice this. Absolutely, it's what we do. Absolutely, it's what we practice. We started, however, exactly where many of you are starting today. So I want you for a second to close your eyes, and I want you to see the power of your mind and the power of being suggestible, because you've believed a lot of suggestions over your life, haven't you? It's just that oftentimes we pick up on the wrong suggestions instead of the right suggestions. So we want to teach you the right suggestions. So picture this, close your eyes. And now I want you to picture that you've got a lemon in front of you, and I want you to put that whole half lemon in your mouth. And I want you to just chew it up. Just picture it, chew up that. Oh, do you feel like your mouth watering? Can you taste the lemon? Your mouth gets watery and right? Are you eating a lemon right now? Most of you probably not. Did your mind tell you you were? Enough so that your mouth watered, you could taste it? Yes. See, that's the power of the mind. So are you ready for an upgrade? Because that's what I would want to offer you today. I want to teach you how to upgrade from where you're at. It does start with mental strength. However, what I have found in 24 years of practicing, all of my clients, we talk about health and wellness. We talk about mental balance. We talk about overcoming. We talk about weight management. But if you don't have the mental capacity and the stability behind the scenes, giving the body what it needs, it's very difficult for you to even think outside the patterns you currently have. So my job is, through a comprehensive consultation, to figure out what it is that you are deficient in. And this is what Kelly was talking about. I have gone through many doctors, I have worked with many doctors, and I've gone behind the scenes to figure out, where do I feel like my loyalty can lie, with a supplemental line that actually is clinically evidenced, science-based, customized, comprehensive, thoughtful blends, and we actually absorb it. I don't want some pill. I don't want some capsule that's going to sit in my stomach and have to break down 40 minutes to 4 hours, and then I'm lucky if I absorb 10%. Not for me. What a waste of my time, what a waste of my money. And honest to God, this is why most people, they say, well, I tried B complex, I tried omega-3s, I tried vitamin D, it didn't do anything for me. Of course it didn't, because what you were taking did not get to the cell receptor, the cell receiver. See, every single cell in your body has a receptor for vitamin D3. So if you don't have a vitamin D3 that is capable of getting to the cell, you never experienced that. So you're living in deficiency mode, and eventually you're going to break down. Every organ, every cell needs it. So these are things we look at. Now, gastric dumping. Many people do not understand the power of an isotonic solution. The bioavailability, 90 to 98%. The only thing that matches that is an IV of vitamins straight to the arm, which people in Arizona oftentimes are doing now. That's where a lot of people retire. They're actually getting IV vitamins. I would rather drink mine. Thank you very much, right? So little packets or little bottles, powder, mix them with water. They effervesce and become an isotonics solution. Within 5 to 10 minutes, you get what you paid for. You get what the bottle actually says without the binders and the fillers and the colors and the dyes and the carcinogens and the excitogens that are in so much crap out there, but you buy it because it's cheap and somebody said it would work. We're not about buying what's cheap that somebody said worked. We're about science, and we're about synergy, and we're about making sure that it's customized for you. So how do we do this? This was one of the things that Kelly really thought was worthy of bringing to the forefront today. We have nutritional analysis called a NutraPhysical. When you get into the NutraPhysical, and all you have to do is send me your email and I'll send you a direct link to this. My contact information is here on the screen. We look at all different categories, and you can choose which categories mean the most to you. If energy and stamina, or stress, or digestive health, if that's really where you feel you want to focus, those are the quizzes I would start with. Once you've done the quiz, I will get a message indicating you've taken the quiz. I will not see your responses to the answers, so answer truthfully. This is to help you. From here, the algorithms will read this information and support us in what would be the best supplementation for you. The other way to do this, for those of you that really don't enjoy that type of thing, going online, that type of thing, is just to reach out to me and say, you know what, Chele, I would love to just have a conversation with you. My goodness, I book consultations every day of the week where we're just talking about what is your body doing right now? What are the symptoms we're seeing? What are the deficiencies behind that? I'm really, really sound in identifying deficiencies and knowing typically what led to the breakdown that we see. And I want to end this by bringing Kelly back up with me and just saying that it is truly a pleasure for the two of us today to be here doing this together. It's so funny, we got together. She goes, am I actually shorter than you? I am wearing a little heel today, but yeah, usually I'm the short one, but this is a little girl here. She's like little. You'd never guess her age. She looks so outstanding. And mother of three. So I just want to say we love you guys. And in closing, thank you for being with us today.
Yes, thank you. And just know that there is support for you. I've been through the ringer for 6 years. Modern medicine just threw me away with no answers. So know that there are people for you. And if we can't help you, we know people that can get you help. So just reach out. You don't have to do this alone. A majority of society right now is suffering from some kind of burnout syndrome or symptom. So make sure that you are asking for the help, and we will make sure that you get your answers.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a great rest of the day.